Hello everybody and welcome to the Mark Goldbridge channel. It is the United Stand setup. I just couldn't be bothered to change it. And you know what? I benefit from Drawty's graphics and he's in America, so you won't even know I'm doing it. So cheers, I can have a drink now. We're going to do the Q&A. Anything you want to talk about, just get involved. That's fantastic. Oh, that's good. Nice little whiskey. Yeah, so anything you want to talk about. This is the Mark Goldbridge channel. I've got the subscribing numbers up for this United Stand, but I've got 4,000 subscribers on this channel now, my channel. So make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Drop us a like, get involved. We're going to start taking your questions. You can Snapchat us. It's United Stand MUFC on Snapchat if you are on it. So make sure you give us a follow. And I'm going to take a few of your questions, which would be great. I don't want Yaya Toure, Moses Rooney. I really do not want that. But let me get Snapchat open. And Solox is walking the thin line tonight, isn't he, Mad Marcus? You've got permission if you want to. You know what I'm on about. Okay, Haf says...
Mark, who do you think will be promoted to the Premier League from the Championship this season?
Ah, that's an interesting one.
Also... who's going to get relegated from the Premier League? I think maybe Hull, maybe Sunderland. I'm not sure about the third one. What do you think?
So he says, who's going to get promoted and who's going to get relegated? Happy to take any sort of question on this. So I think relegated will be definitely Sunderland. I think Middlesbrough will go down as well. And tell me else is at the bottom at the moment. I'm a bit rubbish. I don't really look down there that much. I think Hull might go down as well. Who's going to come up? Newcastle will come up. I think that Huddersfield might get up as well. And I'd like to see Sheffield Wednesday or Leeds get up because I want to see a big club. I hate Leeds, but I just want to see big clubs in the Premier League. I'm fed up of seeing teams like Hull and Wigan in the Premier League. They're not big enough. They've not got big enough attendances. They get turned over by the big teams. I think if you put a Leeds or a Sheffield Wednesday, they could grow into the league and they've got big support. So that's what I would like to see. A little swig again. Brighton I'd like to see come up, to be fair, because they were unlucky last year, weren't they? Sunderland is screwed. Ian Murphy says Sunderland is screwed. I want them to go down. I want them to go down. I want Sunderland to go down. I can't stand them for their celebration when Aguero scored that goal and we were waiting. And I don't really like David Moyes either, so very simple to add that. Jonas Nielsen, 31.
You are literally a legend. I'm watching your stream. And my question is, what do you think... or how do you think Manchester United will finish?
I'm a legend, which is very nice, but not true. And where do I think Manchester United will finish? I think we'll win the Europa League, and I think I'm being positive and saying fourth. I think realistic is fifth, but I do think we'll get it. Haf says, we've done him, haven't we?
What about Brighton? They're second in the Championship, Mark.
I like the way Snapchat works because he comes back at what my answer was, and I'd mentioned Brighton, didn't I? So he knows about that. YouTube rules.
Hello, Mark. My question for you is: if Mourinho left, what club would he go to, and what manager would you want, and why?
It's a good question. If Jose Mourinho left, what club would he go to, and what would I replace him with at Manchester United? Well, to be honest, I don't really care where he goes after Manchester United. Anywhere he goes is a step down. He'd probably go and do some national club, probably Portugal, I suppose. But I think he wants to be at Manchester United for a good few years, probably 3 to 6 years, and then probably go and manage Portugal and then retire, which I think that would be perfect for everybody. Who would I want after Mourinho? The dream would be somebody like Roy Keane. I just love Roy Keane. I'd love him to manage Manchester United, but he's not been that good at managing. I don't want Gary Neville. If people say no to Keane, you've got to say no to Neville. It was embarrassing at Valencia, and it wasn't very good at England as well. I love Gary Neville. I think he's a brilliant pundit, and I think that's where his career should stay. I don't think he's a manager of Manchester United. I don't think Ryan Giggs is. I don't get lost in sentimentality just because they were a fantastic legend at the club. Doesn't mean that they'd make a good manager, and you can make a mistake doing that. I like Ancelotti. He'd probably be too old after Mourinho. I like Pochettino as well. There are managers out there, but I would like somebody who's got some connection to the club to come and do it. You never know. Michael Carrick's doing his badges. Someone like that who actually would be a good manager. But it's very hard. It's very hard, and you should never get lost in sentimentality. Skype Goldbridge Gold says, Mark, do you think Alex Ferguson will get the managing bug at Carrick's funeral and then come back to us? No, he's too old now. And I think he likes what Mourinho does, which is actually involve him. Kieran Kennedy says Roy Keane is a gobshite. It's down to you, mate. He's a legend for me. I think he's fantastic. Giggs will be crap, sorry to say, says Viewlands. And Giggsy's been linked with the Borough job, says Craig. I hope it works for Giggs, and there's no reason to think it wouldn't. But I think he'll probably do what Neville did. I don't think he's a manager, but we'll see. We'll see. Scholes is a good shout. I don't know whether Scholes wants to do it, but he just seems to be a bit more no-nonsense than the other lot. And he knows the game like the back of his hand, so it could be good. Spencer Urban, the Snapchat name is United Stand MUFC, all in one word. Paul Jones, what do you think of Manchester United's tour of the USA? I can't bloody wait. I can't wait. I love the American tour. We're playing 5 games. Real Salt Lake, LA Galaxy, Man City, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Over 2 weeks in mid to late July. We'll be doing watch-alongs for them. Getting up in the middle of the night. Bloody, I love it. I love it. There's something about it. It's a bit like Christmas for football because it's like, it's not the real season. But there's something exciting. Football's back. You've had a month with no football. I love the tours. I didn't really enjoy the last one because obviously the rain and that was really frustrating. And we weren't particularly good on that tour. But we tend to be quite good on the American tour. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. Can't wait. Can he wait? I'm going to do some Snapchats in a minute. But I have to sort of service both Snapchats and the live comments. Diego Simeone says Matthew W. No, don't want him. I don't want him at all. Too defensive. Ewan MacGyver, I think Pochettino is underrated. I think Pochettino is a fantastic manager. To say he's Argentinian and he came to Southampton and nobody really gave him a chance and he's probably been their best manager. Then he's been to Spurs and he's got them playing the way he is. I think he'd be a dead cert fantastic manager at Manchester United. But whether we'd be able to wrestle him away from Spurs is another matter. Thomas Williams, I wanted Ancelotti instead of Mourinho. I did. I'm totally honest about that. I really did. But to be fair, you couldn't really want Mourinho when we wanted Ancelotti because it was around December time that he committed to Bayern Munich. So it was around late November, mid-December time where we didn't want Van Halen anymore. I certainly had enough of him by then and I wanted Ancelotti. But Bayern Munich got in there quick. And at that time, Mourinho had only just been sacked by Chelsea. And I think if you said to any Manchester United fan, do you want Mourinho? Everyone would have said no, because one, you didn't think it was going to happen, and two, he'd only just been sacked by Chelsea. But then 2 months more of the crap under Van Halen, it was like, Mourinho's available, let's get him. And it was all about timing, but I did want Ancelotti as well. Twitter is blowing up about Anton agreeing a deal. Nonsense. It's Manchester Evening News. It is total and utter nonsense. He's probably, if I look at it, he's not even trending. So, and it's not really on my timeline either. It's Manchester Evening News trying to sell papers, and well done to them. They've probably done a very good job of it. But he's not going to sign a deal at Manchester United until at least May. I think it will happen. I do. I think Griezmann will sign, but I think there are factors in it. One, he's playing in the Champions League at the moment with Atletico Madrid and they might win it, so he's not going to disrespect them. Two, we're not in the Champions League yet, and that could be a factor for him. So it's not going to happen till May, and I think it's laughable, anybody who's doing reactions to that. It really is. What's your thoughts on Obi-Wan killing Maul on Star Wars Rebels? I don't watch Star Wars Rebels. I must watch it. Richard Stainer says that Sir Alex loves Pochettino, thinks he'd be a great shout and a realistic target after Jose. I think he'd be the one, as we talk through it now, I think he'd be absolutely perfect. Please share the video. Share the video, because I'll stay. This isn't the United Stand. I can stay as long as you want on here, and I will take as many questions as you want, and I will answer any question you want, because this is my channel, and I will answer anything you want, honestly. I am a bit constrained by the United Stand with timing and certain topics, but on here, I'll answer it. So make sure you share it, drop a like, subscribe. This is my channel, and go for it. Dammy.
Do you think that us, Manchester United, will win the Champions League within the next 5 years?
Peace, Dammy.
We'll sign this season. Not who do we want to sign. Who do you think will sign?
Dammy, I love that. Peace out, mate. Brilliant. Do I think Manchester United win the Champions League? Yes. Do I think they'll win it next year? Probably not. I think we'll win the Premier League next year, Champions League the year after. We can't be greedy. We've had a bad 3 years. Get in the Champions League this year, win the Premier League next year, and put a good account of ourselves in the Champions League. Win it the next year after that. I think we'd be ecstatic with that, wouldn't we? Got to feed the dragon. It's lovely. I haven't had whiskey in a long time. RLS Soccer 09.
If we were to sign 3 of the same position, what position would you want that to be?
If we were to sign 3... I don't really understand what you're saying there. If we were to sign 3 players in the same position, what position would it be? I'm going to interpret that as what 3 positions do you think are the priority for United? Centre-back, centre-back, CDM, and a number 10. We need others, but they're the 3. We need a domineering centre-back, we need a Kante-type CDM, and we need somebody to replace Rooney at 10. Adam Forbes, 1811.
Which players do you see being the best players in the world in 5 years' time?
What players do I see being the best players in the world in 5 years' time? Well, I don't have my encyclopedia of every young player around the age of about 18, 19 in world football, so it's hard. But I think Rashford could be, I think Martial could be, and I think Fosu Mensah could be as well. They won't all 3 be it. I'll be wrong probably on 2, but one of those 3 at Manchester United could well be. And Angel Gomez, as an outsider, he'd be about 21 then. He could be as well. So let's keep it Manchester United centric. Yeah, that could be the case. Jonas Nielsen.
Question is, if you could choose one player from any club in the world to play for Manchester United for the next 5 years, who would it be? More question, I couldn't leave this out. Do you think Rashford will become a club legend? Not just a hero, but a legend. I know I'm asked. He's
asked 2 there. One player from any club in the world could I have? Ronaldo. I'm a romantic. He wouldn't be able to stay for 5 years though, would he? So let's scrub that. Oh, it probably would be Griezmann. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves thinking he's going to sign, but last summer I said he'd be my dream signing. So Griezmann for the next 5 years, I'll be very, very happy with that. Yeah, and Rashford, can he be a club legend? Yes, he can. He can. Injuries got to avoid, and he's got to keep growing as a player, and he's got to sort his final ball and final shot out, but he can do all that. He's got everything else. So, yeah, I'd be happy with that. Connor Breen.
Mark, who do you think will win the Champions League?
Who do I think will win the Champions League? Hopefully Bayern Munich, because I'm fed up of Real Madrid and Barcelona winning it. Or Atletico Madrid. Tyrone.
What do you think of Roy Keane's negative comments towards Jose Mourinho? I think it's a tad bit, well, it's a bit too much, if you ask me.
That's Tyrone Williams. Roy Keane's negative comments about Jose Mourinho. He's entitled to an opinion. He gets paid a lot of money to give an opinion. I think Roy Keane has a very bitter streak towards Manchester United. But you know what? People talk about whether there should be a Wayne Rooney statue because he scored 250 goals. If Rooney gets a statue, Roy Keane should have 2. I don't like the way that the club treat Wayne Rooney, Roy Keane. I understand his bitterness, but unfortunately he's fallen out with Mr. Manchester United, which is Sir Alex Ferguson. And it's a shame they can't sort it out. But I understand why Roy Keane gets very bitter, because he contributed more than anybody to Manchester United, right up there with Sir Alex Ferguson. He was Sir Alex on the pitch, and he doesn't get the respect. He doesn't even get... He's in the shade of the class of 92, which is a joke. Class of 92 were fantastic, but Roy Keane was on another level. An absolutely essential player. Matty's asking what the Snapchat is. It's United Stand MUFC. I should have put the link in the video description. It's my fault, but we'll do this more regularly. And JFRK says that Roy Keane will stand up to anyone, which he will. Andres Pereira is the real deal, says Michael McKee. Totally agree with you. I think he'll be like a new signing. I just pray that Jose Mourinho will use him. You've just reminded me of the comment that I wanted to talk about from the last show. In the Premier League last season, considering I think he only made his debut around February, March time, Fosu Mensah played over 500 minutes in the Premier League. This whole season, do you want to know how many minutes he's played in the Premier League? 4 minutes. It's heartbreaking. It's ridiculous. It's regression. It's criminal. He should have been loaned out. Why didn't you loan him out, Jose? Why didn't you loan him out? 4 minutes. And we're in the bloody March. Well, it'll be April by the next game. 4 bloody minutes. That is a shock. That is a disgrace. Sunday night at 8:30, we're going to be talking about Mourinho, what he's done well and what he's done bad, because there are a few mistakes. That is a huge mistake. Bloody ridiculous. Training with the first team is not like playing matches. He could have been playing for a first team club like a Bournemouth or Hull and have 30 games under his belt. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That's one of his mistakes. That's what worries me about Pereira, because Pereira's been brilliant on loan. If he comes back, is he going to go and sell him? I don't know. Hopefully not. The stat was from Squawker, yeah. And I hate stats, but when I saw that, it made me notice. Neve Olaf.
Mark, this is this year's winners of the Champions League. Come on, Borussia Dortmund!
I like the funny ones. I do like the funny ones. Robert Davenport.
I love Big Dick.
He loves Big Dick. Ivan Penlington. What do you think of Anthony Martial's current situation, and do you think he will stay? Yes, I do. YouTube rules, we've done you. Mub Lined, and you Blind Kid.
What do you make of Jose Mourinho saying that he had no other midfielders on the bench at weekend, even though he had Fosu Mensah?
I think Jose Mourinho doesn't use the squad enough, and I think he's left himself in a funny situation with United fans, because we all back Mourinho, we all love Mourinho, but he does make mistakes. I think Schweinsteiger going's a mistake, and I think not replacing Schneiderlin and Memphis or pulling Pereira back or Borthwick Jackson was a mistake. I think our squad is slim. I know we've got a lot of games in April, but if we get to the middle of April and he starts talking about fatigue, he deserves to get slated. I don't care what the press say, but he deserves to get a bit of criticism from the fans because he's just not utilised the squad. So there's no sympathy about fatigue as far as I'm concerned. Scavenger.
So with all these new players that are supposed to be coming in, what do you think is going to happen to the likes of Januzaj for one, and then Pereira second?
Well, we've talked about Pereira. I hope that Pereira will be given a chance. In relation to Januzaj, I don't want him back at Manchester United. I think he's an absolute waste of space. I think you're given a God-given talent to be a footballer. When he burst on the scene that first season with Moyes, he did quite well. And then he just sat on his arse for 2 years as a professional footballer, and he went to Dortmund and he had to come back. As a young player to do that because he's got a big contract and think he's made it, he's got the wrong head on his shoulders, and I think that ship sailed now. I think his best hope is to be a mid-table Premier League player. I don't think he'll ever be a top echelon player. I think he could have done, but I think he sat on his arse for 2 years, thought he'd made it, and he didn't progress. So Januzaj back at United do not want, if I'm totally honest. He might prove me wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but I don't want him back. Matthew. Yep. Sort your sound out, Matthew. Matty Allison.
Lingard. Or Fellaini.
Phil Jones or Marcus Rojo.
Phil Jones or Marcus Rojo is easy. Marcus Rojo. Fellaini or Lingard is tough. I'd have to say Lingard. I thought Lingard was fantastic in the second half again at the weekend at Middlesbrough. I think Fellaini's had a good game and a half, but he's still got the mistakes in him. And I think Lingard, is the better one. Bex Howell, 10. Talk. Fellaini for captain, she says. Or he says. Aidan Bloke.
Who do you think will be Paul Pogba's eventual partner at Manchester United for the years to come?
Who do I think will be Paul Pogba's long-term partner at Manchester United for years to come? Well, I envisage... The thing is, you can't fit everybody in. So, forgetting the back four and the goalkeeper, if you look at how I would set Manchester United up, it would be a centre defensive midfielder that we need to sign. So, say Kessie, Bakayoko, whoever, Casemiro. Pogba, box to box. Griezmann as the number 10. Zlatan or another as the striker. Mkhitaryan on the right, Martial on the left. So his partner would probably be two players. The CDM behind him and the number 10 ahead of him. Griezmann and Kessie, Fosu Mensah, someone like that. I don't see Herrera being it. I think Herrera will go to the bench. But that's only my opinion. And Jose loves Herrera, and I love Herrera. I'm just thinking about where we can improve, and we need a CDM, and we need a number 10, and we need a box to box, and Herrera is a box to box. Let me have a look. What else we've got? Anup, United forever.
Hello Mark, I would like to know your opinion about Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid as a like replacement for Michael. I would also like to know if...
I think he's in the shower, but he says, what about Saul Niguez? I'm going to rule Saul Niguez out. He's a very good player, but he's another Atletico Madrid player, and we can't sign 4 Atletico Madrid players this summer. So I'm going to rule him out on the basis that I would want Griezmann and Oblak. Right, I'm whizzing through some of these videos to get people on. Jordan!
What do you think our goals should be for next season?
What do you think our goals should be for next season? Premier League, first and last. Martin's MA7.
Do you think Martial has the capability of being a striker up front instead of Rashford if Zlatan leaves next season?
Do I think that Martial has the capability of being a striker if Zlatan leaves? I think the long-term plan for Martial himself is to be a striker, and many of us predicted that that would happen. But I haven't seen enough of him as a striker to make me think that he's anywhere near ready to move off the left wing. I think as a left wing, he's a threat because he's running at his opposition, and that's where he's a threat. As a centre-forward, you've got your back to the opposition a lot unless the ball comes over the top. There's not a lot of opportunity to run at your man. So I think at the moment, Martial's best with ball at the feet, running at the opposition, so he's better as a winger for me at the moment. But that could change. He's still young. That could happen. Mark, do you think if Atletico Madrid wins the Champions League, do you think Griezmann will still leave Atletico for United? It's a good point. Maybe he wouldn't. Maybe he wouldn't leave the Champions League side to come to Manchester United. Who knows? Abdullah, it was a joke. He's asking how can you do a video in the shower. Would Gareth Bale fit into the United squad, says Rude Knight the Master? Of course he did. Of course he would. Of course he would. Will Martial ever win the Ballon d'Or, says Half says. He could do. What about Krajicek from PSG as a DM? He's not been mentioned. Play Gomez at 16 like Rooney did, or leave him to progress under the 18s. I just think it's a size thing with Gomez. He's a bit small. That was so nice. I really enjoyed that. Lad Show says they won't win anyway. Martial can be world class, but Mourinho doesn't play him. I can't see him going. I really can't see him going. Not at all. Please keep liking and sharing. If you want me to stay on, please share it. There's a share button underneath. And I am going to take your Snapchats, United Stand MUFC. It wasn't Jack Daniels, it was some Scottish stuff. Any chance for Renato Sanchez, says Guy Griffiths. I was so disappointed to miss out on Renato Sanchez, as I know a lot of you were. But I don't think it's going to happen. He's only been at Bayern Munich a year, and he is potentially one of the best players in world football. So I can't see it happening. Gomez is a brilliant finisher, says Abdullah. He is absolutely brilliant. Mark, when's your next film review? I've got no idea. It's so busy at the moment. It's time. It's time. Hard day at the office, says Mark. Says Mr. Hard day at the office, Mark, says fantastic Mr. Fix. Yeah, it's been a bit of a tough week. You know, it's the international break. Work's not been bad this week, but everyone at work's been like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, just hate it. It's a long week. But our boss has been off this week, so our main boss. So it's been quite a, not easy, but relaxed. But I've hated it. I hate the international break. Even though I totally agree, we need to endure it because the club need it. Do I rate Gary Monk? Well, he's Leeds manager, but he has done quite well. I thought he was unlucky to get sacked at Swansea. Ask me some bloody upfront questions. You know what? This is my channel. It's not the United Stand. Ask me some upfront questions. I'll answer them. I'll answer them. No worries. Beck Howell liked my glasses. I have to wear them at work. Okay, let's take another Snapchat. I'm getting lost here. You can get lost on Snapchat. Vahan.
Zlatan or Mkhitaryan? Who's more important to the team?
Mkhitaryan's more important than Zlatan because Zlatan will be gone soon. David. If you had to choose, would it be Oblak or Griezmann? Griezmann. Jack Dowling 12.
Would you rather strengthen the defence of Man U or the attack of Man U?
It's a very good question. Would I rather attack, because if you score more goals than the opposition, it doesn't matter, does it? I think our defence, you could get by with our defence. We need a domineering centre-back, but we've got by all season without it. So if you're asking me, do I want Manolas or Griezmann? It's Griezmann, so I have to go with the attack. Right, Tony Marshall says, are you a Muslim? No, I'm not. Do you support the United Football Firm? This is Skype Goldbridge Gold. What degree do you have, Mark? Says Viewlands. I don't have a degree. It's a mistake a lot of people make. I don't have a degree. I don't have any A levels either. I'm actually I'm actually from a relatively working class background. A lot of people presume, you went to university and this, that, and that, because I am quite well educated, but I'm not from that background at all. So I don't want to go all Jake Humphries on you and go, I had no A levels and look at me now, I'm loaded on BT Sports. Well, I'm not loaded for a start, and I'm not on BT Sports, but anything is achievable. That was what I would say. I came out of school with nothing. 3 GCSEs,